If you're between the ages of 45 and 65 and you want to retire within the next 5 years, start traveling full time and doing this lifestyle, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to break down step-by-step guide on how to retire within the next 5 years. Some might be within the next year, some might be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever your number is. This video will give you step-by-step guide on how to do it. So the first step is knowing where you're getting started, knowing where you're starting. That means knowing your number currently wherever you live today, whether in the US, Canada, or UK, Australia, whatever you might be. If you live in one of those high cost living countries, you're looking to retire and travel abroad, take advantage of the geo arbitrage, your stronger currency, and live the lifestyle on half the cost or a much cheaper option than your home country. This is the step to do it. Number one, you want to get a good understanding of where you're starting. If your current living cost is, let's say, 5K, 10K in the US, you want to write down all your fixed costs and all your other costs like healthcare, insurance, car property taxes, pet insurance, all the stuff that it takes you right now. List all your expenses right now and go through them and total it up, what it costs right now for you to sustain your current life. And that's going to give you a starting point. If you're spending, let's say, close to, on average, 10K a month in the US, just to sustain your current lifestyle, and you're looking to cut that cost down and travel abroad or travel internationally full time after you retire, you want to know, hey, this is my current cost. And then the next thing you want to do is start to cut down some of the costs that you have currently. Maybe it's subscriptions, maybe it's having a car payment. You want to minimize your current living cost and fixed costs as much as possible and put that towards your retirement travel fund as soon as you can start. So that it might look like not buying any more tchotchkes or home decor or another pair of Halloween decor for the fall. It might look like not buying another brand new car and signing yourself up for another $800 car payment each month. If you're looking to retire within the next 5 years, it's best not to sign up for extra monthly costs like that. That would really help when it's times for you to be able to take off. And so you want to look for ways to lower your monthly living cost where you're at right now and put the difference towards your retirement travel savings fund. And I'll tell you why you're going to need some of that saving in the next few steps. So number one is knowing your number right now. How much does it cost you to live your current lifestyle where you live right now? And how can you lower some of those fixed expenses and variable costs where you live and put that aside for savings? All right. And then number two is research and put together a potential travel destinations for your retirement. So me and my husband have top 10 to 15 countries we want to travel to and check out. We don't have any place where we want to stay and live long term. We're not committed to any location. We want to travel around the world, and especially in low cost countries and regions like Southeast Asia, where we can use geo arbitrage to stretch our dollar and have a better quality of life. And we're going to travel around until we get tired of traveling, or we might fall in love with the destination or country somewhere during our travel. We might say, hey, let's move here. Or we might be traveling around from country to country, but we're keeping our options open. But we have our top 10 to 15 destinations we want to check out. That most likely is going to be a great country for people who are looking to retire overseas and travel overseas as well. You want to create a top countries you can maybe look at yourself visiting, maybe retiring, and you want to start doing your research on several different categories that are important to you. Number one might be healthcare. How good is their healthcare system? Can you get good medical care, dental care while you're in that country? And number two is language, how easy it is to get around in that country, whether you speak the language or you can get by maybe without learning it because everybody else there or most people in that country speak English. They might be easier for you to do that. And number three is safety. Is it going to be safe, physically safe, politically safe? Are they friendly to foreigners? Are they friendly to visitors? Do they welcome foreigners to live among them and visit them? Those kind of things that you want to look into. And then the number four is, of course, cost is one of the main reasons. If you're looking to retire in Norway, that is a huge difference. And you're going to need a lot bigger number for your retirement than if you were comparing that to a place like Thailand, where it's a lot cheaper to retire with a high quality of life. So your location really depends on where you want to retire or where you want to travel to. If you want to just travel through Southeast Asia or some of the more affordable countries, then you don't need that much money to travel. You might be surprised how actually comparatively cheap it is compared to, like, let's say, just living a life in the US. You're not really like a super wealthy. You're not doing crazy things in the US, but on a smaller budget, you can do a whole lot more in other countries and low cost countries is your golden spot for retirement travelers. So you want to look at cost, how much it costs to live there, to travel there, how much it costs per month, what kind of, lifestyle. The other thing you want to research is what kind of travel lifestyle you're looking for. Are you looking for fast travel? I would guess if you're watching this channel, you're probably interested in slow travel, because fast travel wears you out and it also is a lot more expensive than slow travel. And if you're retired, then you have the flexibility of, being able to get a low season and flexible enough to book things where other people who have a 9 to 5 cannot. So your flexibility is actually an advantage. It saves you a lot of money to slow travel and move slowly, spend a month to several months in one location and then move on. It also cuts down your travel costs. So you're not, taking a plane ride or train or car ride every week or every other day. That will cut down significantly on your travel costs and you'll get less tired. You'll actually get to immerse in the local country, slow down, take a breather, get to know your neighborhood, get to know the surroundings, how people actually live. And that's the fun of slow travel. It's cost saving and it's also more relaxing for you. So that's why slow travel is great. But you want to know what countries that will you want to go check out and how much they cost to live in each of those countries, whether that's for a month or 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever you're looking for. So you want to start compiling this information and maybe create a country research sheet for each country and maybe region and start plugging in this information for healthcare, safety and language and cost. And the other thing is lifestyle too. Are you more of a beach person or you're more of a city person? Or you're more of a small town person or you're more of an island person? That really depends on where you want to go to, which countries you want to visit to, and or you like a little bit of everything. You want to spend your time in each of these locations. So do your research, start compiling these kind of information on your top 10 to 15 destinations. Now you know how much it costs for you to slow travel, let's say in Southeast Asia versus Eastern Europe, Western Europe. If you want to go to places like New Zealand, Australia, it's going to be a different cost compared to these countries. So you want to know where you want to go, where you want to travel on average, how much these destinations cost per month, and then what that travel is going to cost as well. So now you know your number. And so you want to, let's say, add it up. Maybe you want to do a little bit of Europe and maybe a little bit of Southeast Asia to balance out your budget. So you add your monthly cost of these travel destinations you want to go to and travel to, and you average it out per month, how much it's going to cost. So let's say your average travel cost is 3K, 4K a month between, 6 months in Europe, 3 months in Europe, 6 months in Southeast Asia, 3 months in South America, or something like that combination. And you want to average it out per year, average it out per month. You want to add it all together 1 year and average it out, and then add maybe 20% for extra miscellaneous fudge expenses, unexpected expenses that you're not counting on. So whatever your number is that came up with, let's say your average was 3K a month, and then you want to add 20% for miscellaneous and unexpected expenses that surely is going to come up when you start traveling full time. Now you have your goal number for retirement travel full time. Then next thing you want to do is figure out how are you going to bring in that money each month during your retirement. Are you going to be fully retired? Are you going to be 100% retired? Are you going to live off your pension, your social security, your retirement savings? Where is the money going to come from, right? So you want to come up with that number, whether you already have that saved and invested for however many years, whether you have that. And here's the thing, if you don't have, let's say, the full 3,600 per month that's going to take you to travel full time, there's other options you can do. For example, let's say maybe your social security only pays for half of it. Let's say you still need 1,600, your social security is 2K, and you still need 1,600 a month on top of your social security or retirement withdrawal that you can do. You still need some funds. There's other options like maybe can you do consulting online? Can you teach English online? Can you do some kind of side hustle? Maybe you have a small business that you can do remotely online. You can do YouTube online to make a little bit of extra money. How are you going to get to that, let's say 3,600 a month, all your travel budget? If you have it already saved up and invested and you're ready to go in 5 years, great. Then you can do whatever you want. But if you need a little bit of extra, let's say a part-time job remotely, or, you travel 6 months out of the year, and then the other 6 months you come back to the US and you work for that seasonal job that you have only 3 months to 6 months, half the year, and then you get to travel for another 6 months. However that setup will be, the goal is to come up with that number that you're going to need for your full-time travel fund. So look for ways how to fund your travel, whether it's from retirement, for part-time job, or side gig, or small business, whatever it might be. Now, next, number 4 is going to actually help you during this whole process, and you can get this started a lot earlier than the previous 3 steps. You can get this started before you start those 3 as well, is make friends with people who are doing what you want to be doing within the next 5 years. And there's online forums. There is, YouTube channels where you can get these kind of information. You can obviously watch videos like this and other creators who are doing the same, and you can make friends with them and ask them questions. Hey, how'd you deal with this? What did you do? How did you hold on to your house, or did you hold on to your, you know, did you rent out your house when you travel? Those are the questions that you can ask once you actually have a real person who's doing it, what you want to be doing in the next 5 years. Number 5 is, remember step 1, I told you to start saving, cut your extra costs where you live right now, and put whatever the difference in a retirement travel saving fund. Remember that? Now you're gonna need this for this step. The next one is, besides saving, start saving money for your travels, you wanna also accumulate points, travel points. So I'm talking like hotel points. Like let's say you wanna take advantage of the IHG hotel point system. Each year, the max IHG allows you to buy at 50 cents a point is 300K per person. So you have, let's say, 5 years to build up to, so 300,000 IHG points each year. And they'll give you 100% bonus during the 100% bonus sale for half cents a point. And that means you can buy up to 600,000 IHG points. Multiply that, let's say you have 5 years. So by the time you retire in 5 years, you're going to have 3 million IHG points. And if both you and your spouse are going to be doing this together, then between the two of you, you have 6 million IHG points. You know how long you can live in hotels using 6 million IHG points? A lot. You can probably live in IHG hotels on like an average hotel that costs 10,000 per night. You can live in 20 months in IHG hotels, just that alone. And if you sign up for, let's say, Chase cards and start accumulating Chase points, then you can use that to stay at Hyatt. And on average, let's say a starter category 1 Hyatt points hotels, you're using 5K per night per points. It's going to cost you 150,000 Hyatt points per month to stay at a nice Hyatt hotel overseas, like in Southeast Asia. And so if you want to accumulate as many travel points as you can to stretch your money, go farther when you start traveling, because you can stay at these nice hotels using hotel points. If you want to stay at Hyatts worldwide, then you want to get Chase cards that gives you Hyatt Chase points that can transfer to Hyatts. And then if you want to cut down on your flight cost, you might want to do some Amex Gold or Amex Platinum, some of those cards that gives you Amex points. And if you have 5 years to, let's say, put together your groceries and eating out every month, average grocery bill is like 800 to 1,200 a month in the US. You put that on Amex Gold and you get 4 times the points on just on groceries alone. And if you eat out quite a bit, that's a lot of points each month. And you can accumulate over the next 5 years, and you can have a good chunk of accumulated points in Amex account and Chase account and IHG account. And that will set you up on a good starting point when you start traveling. You can use the Amex points to book business class seats, international travel, these long haul travels from North America to Asia or Europe. It's very, very doable. If you have Amex points, you can transfer it and fly on points. Save significant amount of money on your flights. Same thing for IHG hotels and high points. And so those are the points I would recommend you start accumulating. Accumulate those points for your retirement travel. And when you start traveling, you're going to have enough points to live in hotels and get nice business class long haul flights for a number of years. Then step number 6, the next step is to do a trial run for retirement travel. So you don't know what you're like and some of these destinations until you put boots on the ground, until you experience it. So you want to take maybe a month-long trip to Southeast Asia, maybe however long you can take time off, or you can make it. Maybe you can take a sabbatical, like 3 months, 6 months off, and test run some of these locations that you've done research and now you have accumulated points. Try out what it feels like to stay at hotels at these nice places, or you can test out, staying at Airbnbs and see the difference. And you can try out some of these destinations that you've been doing research on a smaller, shorter scale as a test run, and then also see what the lifestyle feels like. And then maybe connect to some expats who live there or other slow travelers who are retired and slow traveling, and see what the lifestyle is and get to know them and put your boots on the ground and see how it feels. So maybe take a 2-week trip, a month long trip, whatever you can take to get a test run to make sure that you're not going to regret this. People are afraid of selling their houses and cars, for example, because they're like, well, what if I, travel around and then get that bug out of my system, and then I come back in 2 years, 3 years, a year later, and then I want to, if I sell my house, I wouldn't have any place to go and I'll be priced out of the market, things like that. So if you have any fear about that, I would definitely do a trial run for full-time retirement travel. take a sabbatical, take a long vacation, and try out some of these countries that you wanted to go to and try it out. And if you've been doing what I've just told you, saving travel points for hotel points, things like that, you can also use those to fly. So it's not going to cost you that much. If you use points for your airline and your housing, you might just spend a little bit of money while you're on the ground. And depending on where you're going, it might just be a few $1,000 a month just to try out these places. And the best thing is to try it yourself. That way, when you come back from this trip, you have high likely certainty for, yes, I want to sell my house and I want to commit to this lifestyle for sure. Or you're basically like, no, I don't ever want to do that. And I don't want to sell my house. I want to, do this a little bit and then come back or whatever you decide to do. So I would definitely recommend a trial run and check out some destinations and using those travel fund savings that you've been saving and the points you've been collecting. Then once you have boots on the ground, once you experience it yourself during this trial run, the next thing you want to do is once you come back, now you have clarity on what you want. Now you have clarity on, you know, one of the things people struggle with is letting go of the stuff that we have. We have houses full of stuff, basement full of stuff, storage is full of stuff that most of the time we just don't even use. So anyway, that's one of the big struggle is decluttering and getting rid of. Now that you have clarity, now that you know what's out there, what you want your retirement travel to look like, then you want to come back and start decluttering your house, decluttering your responsibilities, decluttering your bills, your stuff. So that might look like selling your house. That might look like decluttering, getting rid of stuff, donating your stuff. You remember you want to keep that travel budget as your travel budget out there. You don't want to be paying for a mortgage. You don't want to be paying for storage or stuff that you have in the US and paying for travel out there. The magic comes from getting rid of the US expenses and putting that money towards traveling full time. So you want to do that. It's going to take you to declutter and get rid of stuff. And basically, a very simple framework I use is you want to go through a small room or one room at a time in your house and get rid of, donate, sell. Maybe you want to have a state sale, maybe you want to have a garage sale or Facebook Marketplace, whatever it is. If it's worth selling and big items, I would sell it. And if it's smaller items, it's going to take too much of your time, I would just donate it or get rid of it, the quickest as possible. There's junk haulers and things like that. Anyway, so you want to get rid of stuff and then you want to have a plan to get rid of all your US bills, basically. You don't want to be paying for any US bills that you have. Very minimal to keep maybe a US address, things like that, or bare necessities, but get rid of all the overhead costs, your fixed costs, mortgages, rents, the storages, car payments, insurance, property tax, all of that stuff. You want to get rid of all those bills, as much of them as possible. You want to start traveling with at least bills zero, if at all possible. The only thing I might even pay for is the keeping US address. So that costs like $20 a month to keep a US address and residence in there. So that would be it. And once you get rid of the stuff and when you're ready to go, get rid of everything. And leading up to it, you want to start downsizing. You want to start decluttering. You want to start donating. You want to start selling stuff. And do not buy any more crap to put in your house because you're just going to have to get rid of it if this is your plan. So the very last thing is once it's your time, once you have the funds, you're going to have a reliable source of, let's say, income or your pension, retirement, social security, whatever it is that is enough to fund your travel number that you came up with, plus it's about 20% for miscellaneous things that you're not counting on. Then you want to start your journey and come up with about a year before you want to start traveling. You start looking for the best deals on hotels, the best deal on flights, the best deal on Airbnbs or stay places or wherever, and start putting together the next, let's say, 6 months to a year of travel. So if you're slow traveling, it makes it very easy. If you choose to spend a month in each location or each country, then you go, hey, I want to string together. So you pick a Southeast Asia region, for example, and say, I want to spend the next 6 months in Southeast Asia region. So here are the top 5 countries I want to visit. And then you string it together. I'm going to go to Vietnam for 3 months. I want to go to a month in Thailand. It used to be 2 months. Thailand just changed it to 30 days again for Vietnam, for Thailand, which is sad. You want to put it together, string together your plan and start booking accommodations based on when the best deals are. Is one of the best hacks to book retirement travel since your time is flexible. Now you want to choose the best low season in some countries that you can visit where other people can't. So once you put together the next 6 months or 12 months, about a year before we want to start traveling, you want to start looking for these deals. You put them together by region. And then maybe after you finish Southeast Asia, then you go to Europe or South America or whatever you want to end up going to and string it together to come up with at least the next 6 to 12 months. Your travel can change, but you want to start booking refundable accommodations, refundable If you're looking for Airbnb, make sure it's refundable. If you're booking with hotel points, most of the time, hotel points are refundable up to like a day or two before your stay. So it's really nice advantage if you're using hotel points. That's another reason we like it. So, and then you're ready to go on your journey and you already have your next 6 months or 12 months planned out. I know retirement travel can seem kind of overwhelming because you got to get rid of all your stuff and then you want to start saving up money or making sure that you can fund your retirement, all these things. I know it can be overwhelming. Let me know which part of the retirement and slow traveling feels most overwhelming or difficult for you as you plan right now. So hopefully this video will help you make you feel a little bit easier and clearer on practical steps on how to prepare yourself to retire within the next 5 years. And for some people, it might only take you a year or two to get to this final destination point, final point in the journey to get started. And, or maybe some people might have a plan for to retire in the next 5 years, but you don't want to start preparing for retirement in travel 5 years from now when you retire. You want to be doing these steps now on the timeline. So leading up to your retirement, you already have all these steps ready to take off and get started on this journey. But it is an exciting journey to go on, and you want to get started as early as possible now that you're thinking about it. And hopefully, these practical steps will help you. And see you on this journey.